44 Lucian Bayer, and case 205 Cinda Umbridge.
Thank you. Can you please call the first witness?
Mr. Patrick Lablache.
I, Mr. Patrick Lablache, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you, Mr. Lablache. It's not even been a week, right? We saw you on Tuesday, and now we're seeing you. We started our week with you, and we're ending our week with you. So thank you for appearing again, so close. So today we've asked you to appear in relation to 3 cases. Case 037, Alan Ernestine. Case 161, Madhav Rajama. And case 0344, Lucianne Bier. That's right with you? Yes? Okay. Can we start with case 037, Alan Ernestine? In that case, Mr. Ernestine claims that his property, H231, on which he lived and operated a successful restaurant, the Lobster Pot, was unlawfully acquired on 29th of January 1987 by compulsory acquisition. He claims that under extreme duress, he accepted an insufficient compensation for the unlawful acquisition, and he claims that the acquisition was a means to give ownership of the property to the person he had leased it to when he left for Australia, as that person was sold the property for a low value. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Commissioner. Good morning, Commissioners. Okay, the case of Mr. Alan Ernestine. It is correct that the property known as Lobster Pot est un restaurant, la Pète Conan, parcelle H231, c'est à peu près 1823 mètres carrés, et quand le gouvernement a fait l'acquisition le 2 février 1987. Raison qui sa propriété ti gagne à quoi il veut être un locataire internet et madame qui type run sa restaurant. En effet, monsieur Ernestine pâtissait il participait run sa restaurant, il run avant mais il loué sa restaurant avec madame Benoîton, Léon Benoîton. En réalité, gouvernement at the time c'est un policier qui un policier l'ont absenti landlords et ben restaurant qui devrait être owner operated. Bon, en fait, moi ben un petit article qui t'appelle de nation suite à l'acquisition et les autres encore qui est une déclaration faite par le gouvernement moi fait comme exhibitoire nous et ça t'appelle de nation le 16 mai 87. Explique un petit peu background. Monsieur Ernestine met un claim pour compensation pour 425 000 roupies à travers Monsieur Bernard Georges, son avocat, le 15 avril 1987. Exhibit tout. Le gouvernement a fait un lot compensation 225 000 roupies. Exhibit 3, qui après a augmenté pour venir 240. Ça a fait en juillet 88, pardon. at the date qui sa propriété ti gagne fait l'acquisition, tient un mortgage Barclays Bank en faveur Barclays Bank 170 000 roupies et tient 110 000 roupies qui est outstanding date l'acquisition. Ça joue date l'acquisition la banque tient 110 354 roupies. Il y a aussi un taxe dette qui contrôle la taxe s'il y avait non dans le ministère pour 14 166 70 sous. Sa dette taxe qui est payée par le gouvernement, Commissioner Taxes, les 20 septembre 1990. Malheureusement, il prend une quantité de temps pour le gouvernement payer sa mortgage. À cause, en bas la loi, at the time, les propriétés gagnent acquired. Si on est la banque, on est un mortgagee, il y a des gens qui ont l'intérêt dans ça. Ils submettent un claim. L'intérêt, ils gagnent converti dans un droit de compensation. Et ça l'argent qui est outstanding at the date of acquisition, qui lui aussi est capable de carry l'intérêt as specified by the minister at the time, ce qu'on a payé. Mais malheureusement, nous avons un problème dans la loi itself, qui nous pas capable de tirer ça l'argent et payer la banque sans consentement, M. Ernestine. So, il y a plusieurs questions sur ça. Il participe pour lui. Nous avons fait un amendement avec la loi pour permettre au gouvernement de façon qu'on puisse l'intérêt, le salon, à quelle quantité.
When was the amendment to the law made?
I think it was 1990 probably. It was 1990. It was several cases also that were pending with us.
What would happen is you would, prior to the amendment, you would acquire the property, and the person whose property it was still had responsibility for that mortgage because that was under their name. Even though you owned the property, they had no property now and a mortgage, and then they'd wait for you to give them compensation, and the interest on that mortgage would increase.
Yeah, but what's important is that if the owner says, go ahead and pay the bank, you pay the bank. You clear the mortgage as fast as you can, provided the mortgage, the amount owing is less than the compensation to be awarded to the owner. It's limited up to the amount of the compensation. So in that case, Mr. Ernestine, I mean, like some of us, we didn't get to the point where he told us, go and pay the bank. So we had to amend the law to
and
make it
why
possible.
why did some people not get to that point? Because they didn't agree with what you with the
Well, it was a matter of
acquisition, or
negotiation.
they wanted more money, so
More
you'd
money,
already
yeah.
taken the land and they were not going to accept it.
Yeah.
So time
Yeah.
passes.
OK. So, nous continuons la négociation avec M. Ernestine. Le gouvernement continue à maintenir son offre de 140 000 roupies jusqu'en octobre 1993. Les constitutions qui viennent en force, en zin, le gouvernement répond à ça. Il dit, nous avons besoin de régler ça l'acquisition suite à Schedule 7, Part 3. OK? So, nous réglons. Et le gouvernement qui offre offre 500 000 roupies. Là-dedans, il inclut sa mortgage debt et sa taxe dette. Monsieur Ernestine, il continue naturellement de demander au gouvernement pour retourner son propriété.
Sorry, I might be a bit slow. So the mortgage debt and the tax debt were included, so they would be taken out of
Yeah,
the
taken out.
500,000. Okay.
That's
And how
correct.
much were they worth at that time? Do you know?
I will tell you in a moment.
Okay, thanks.
OK, nous avons payé ça des dettes. Nous avons payé M. Ernestine, qui m'a fait ressortir, qui est vrai qu'il y a plusieurs occasions qui écrit nous, il demande au gouvernement pour retourner son retourne sa propriété. Mais le gouvernement il maintient son position, il dit il n'est pas pour retourner. En plus, le gouvernement il finit de vendre sa propriété avec Mme Benoîton, sa tenante. Le gouvernement il vend sa propriété, Mme Benoîton, le 22 octobre 1990, qui est plus de 150 000 roupies. Okay. Et le gouvernement il peut louer sa propriété avec Mme Benoîton pour 4 000 roupies par mois. From the date of acquisition, jusqu'à l'année, il vend en octobre 1990.
So all that time from you acquired it, you were collecting the rent as well. So Mr. Ernestine, no compensation, government collecting the rent, mortgage going up in the bank, negotiation ongoing.
Correct.
So for him, financially, disastrous.
We'll get to that. Okay. So basically, maintenant, Exhibit 4, côté montrer que le gouvernement s'y vend sa la terre avec Mme Benoîton, plus de 150 000 roupies. Exhibit 5, il montre les autres un petit peu sa position, sa l'acquisition. Les notices regrettent en bas. Schedule 7. So, Exhibit 5. En effet, le gouvernement a décidé pour faire monter sa l'offre, pour couvrir l'intérêt que la banque Tipessaz, M. Ernestine. Le gouvernement a fait monter par 48 406 roupies pour couvrir ça l'intérêt. M. Ernestine ne sont pas, il continue à maintenir sa compensation qui gagne fait est inadéquate et il est 1 million de roupies. En avril 1994, son avocat, M. Georges, a finalement agréé to the compensation 548 406 qui a fait. Il dit nous que M. Ernestine a besoin de l'argent pour être capable urgently acheter la case pour lui avec son famille. By then, il retourne, sorti de story. Exhibit 6. Monsieur Ernestine a payé 368 651,50 le 28 avril 1994. Exhibit 7, il a payé.
I mean, I'm just looking here, and the lady that it was leased to, so it was sold to her for 250,000 rupees in October 1990, and this letter is dated 19th of August 1993, and it says she recently sold the property without any improvements thereto to some other people for 500,000. Yeah. It wasn't an option for the government to buy it and give it back to Mr. Ernestine at that time?
It was difficult because if you look at again, I refer you back to the verbatim of the constitutional debate. It was clearly stated if a property had been sold, the third party cannot be made to pay for that. It was sold in good faith to a third party. So they agreed at that point that if it had been sold or if it had been developed.
But she was selling it, so could the government have bought it?
She ran it.
Give it
She
back?
actually ran it from. She was running it as a restaurant until, from '87 to, and in fact, government decreased the rent because she was paying $5,000 a month. Government decreased the rent to $4,000. View of the state of the property, it wasn't.
But if she was selling it in 93 and he'd made an application under Section 7, he kept saying, give it to me back.
She sold it before.
She sold it before
No,
this?
the government had already sold to her in 1990.
Yeah, but then she sold it. So I'm asking, when she put it on the market for sale, the government couldn't have said to her, if you're selling it, sell it to us so we can give it back to Mr. Ernestine?
We were not aware.
You were not aware. No, they don't advertise sales normally.
No. It was a private sale with
Yeah.
a third party.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't know about it until we found out later on that she had sold it. Ce que je peux dire, c'est que dans sa caisse, c'est qu'il est vrai que M. Ernestine, en effet, il met le record, il fait nous connaître qu'il écrit elle après qu'il a payé, le 31 mai 1994, qu'il a accepté sa compensation under protest, so to speak. Et il demande au gouvernement pour make up the shortfall of his claim, 1 million. Comme si tu demandes 1 million, il gagne 548 000. Alors, l'exhibit Madame Zot, ça, son lettre qui est écrit. À un moment, pas connaître si il y en a un caisse, il y a quelque chose peut-être qui nous besoin de l'opinion légale. S'il y en a un caisse en vie qui accepte ça en bas proteste, il met en écrit. Mais moi, par contre, on a petit un caisse aussi qui cabale dans le tribunal. So, nous besoin guetter. Moi, pas commit là.
Combien sa madame t'y vend sa propriété at the time, Madame Benoîton?
Madame Benoîton, tu vends pour 500 000.
When she sold it
In 93.
in 93.
Mais by then, bonne valeur de propriété est montée.
Condition, sa propriété est détériorée à cause d'une gouvernement qui réduit
Moi, quoi, tiens, un petit
location.
peu, sa madame aussi, at the time, un petit peu essayer d'acheter avec lui. Il peut essayer d'acheter sa propriété avec M. Ernestine. En correspondance. Nous, on a pas bonne correspondance, nous. Mais, obviously, le gouvernement intervient. Moi, quoi, il a un loan de 150 000 euros, puis avec la Banque de Développement, qui s'y gagnait, pour les acheter. Après, moi, quoi, M. Ernestine, finalement, il back out. Il prend les ventes. Même le gouvernement. Non, théorie.
Mais l'endroit continuellement dégradé a commenté. Ça a été monté dans sa zone. Graduellement, tu dégradé. Hein.
C'est un restaurant?
Oui, oui.
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 I mean, this policy is quite interesting, right? Because just the way that it's, worded, because it's basically, the people that are not in Seychelles, who over the years have settled in Australia, Britain, did not agree with anything that was happening in Seychelles and would, if they could, destroy what the nation is trying to build. They do not miss an opportunity to not only criticize, but also sometimes contribute financially to stop our progress. And so therefore, we're going to have this policy because these people do not agree with anything we are doing. The only thing they like about Seychelles is the money they get from here, he added. Pretty angry.
Those were the days.
If you left and were collecting money, you were basically against because you were taking money out of the country, right?
Time though, considering that many people who had left the country had done so forcibly because either they'd been arrested or they'd been hassled or they were considered to be against the system and they had to go into exile. So it's a bit tough.
But not everybody's land, of course, was acquired. I mean, it's a policy, so.
A policy of the time. So we need to look at the duress aspect of his acceptance. I think you conceded that, so.
Well, he's put it on record.
Yes, it's on record, yeah. At the time, he put it on record, yeah. And it's no longer there, the lobster pot, is it?
No.
No. It's a pity. I like lobster, yeah.
It
I
was
heard it was a
not,
very good restaurant.
Yeah, it was not a custom-built restaurant. It was a house converted restaurant, basically.
So can we move to case 0344, Luciane Bia? Is that correct? Bayer, in which Mrs. Bayer claims that her land in Praslin, PR 170, consisting of 23,202 square meters, was unlawfully acquired, and compensation of only 205,000 rupees paid at the time of acquisition. And she claims that in 1996, she accepted an additional compensation of 600,000 rupees under duress. She claims that her land was subdivided and distributed to party supporters. She alleges that of the two of the largest plots facing the road and sea, one PR 5446 is leased to the Honourable Churchill Gill, the MNA for Bay St Anne, Praslin, and the other PR 5443 is leased to Miss Sophie and Maurice Paul, one of who was the district administrator for Bay St Anne. She alleges that these persons have not in fact complied with the lease agreement to pay rental and are speculating on the land. And she's seeking the return of these plots to her as compensation for the violation of her rights.
Merci, Madame Chair. Moi, je commence un petit peu son histoire, pas d'ailleurs. Sa propriété qui Madame Baerti own, PA 170, Saint-Anne. Pareil, Madame dit, Madame Chair dit 23 210 mètres carrés. C'est gagné acquired le 20 mai 1985. Son dossier lui-même n'a pas grandes affaires qui donne raison à cause de gagné acquired. Other than une restriction sortie que sa principal secretary at that time, M. Georges Payette, qui t'y donne une directive, mais plus tard, mon comprend qu'il y a une inference qui sa propriété t'y gagne acquired pour l'agriculture, pour développer une state farm ensemble avec les autres. C'est dans plusieurs propriétés le Côte d'Or qui s'y gagne acquired around the same time pour faire state farm. Une fois que ça décote là-bas pour un peu de temps. Après plus tard, le gouvernement il fait land bank. So basically, l'eau à la terre, il y a une quantité plots qui gagnent vendre avec public pour faire de la case. À part ça, dès que Madame Chair une cause là, qui n'est pas encore développée, naturellement. Les salataires qui gagnent pas, c'est des hypothèques là, des mortgages. Barclays Bank tient un first line mortgage pour 15 000 roupies. Et tient 18 000 roupies 326 qui est outstanding sa mortgage at the date of acquisition. C'est un mortgage et Madame Christa Maria Schneemann. On pense Madame Allemand. Monsieur Bernard Georges qui peut handle son case. Et il tient un second line mortgage pour 150 000 roupies. Et at the date of acquisition, il tient 200 000 roupies 65,50 outstanding de sa dette. Madame Baer met un claim pour 205 000 roupies at the time. Le gouvernement fait lien ex gratia offer. Il va désirer 85. 20 000 roupies. Voilà. Après ça, offre ti gagne augmenté pour 30 000, pour les 30 000, après que Madame Bahati demandait increase to 50,000. Exhibit 3. Madame Bahati accepté sa l'offre 30 000 roupies le 24 octobre 1985. Exhibit 4. Madame Bahati autorise le gouvernement to pay off Barclays Bank. Ça y est capable, mon dit bonnet, il y a qu'à côté une autorise non. So la banque a payé 19 877. Il y a aussi un taxe dette 1073 roupies qui nous tiré de payer. Et Madame Bahati end up avec 9 119 roupies 13 sous. So c'est ça qu'ils font partie exhibit 5.
So for all that land, that's all she ended up with, 9,000 rupees.
We're coming to part
All
2.
right, okay, good.
Part 2. This is the payments made, financial warrant. So, les 3 mars 1994, Madame Baen, naturellement, si demandait review son cas en bas constitution. En bas 7 part 3. Et il demandait que le gouvernement retourne sur la terre pour un reasonable price. Il y a payé. Le gouvernement parti d'accord avec ça. À cause il y a un plan pour développer sa propriété into a residential estate. Il a commencé aussi. Le gouvernement a fait le 22 février 1996. So, il y a un peu de négociation qui s'est passée. Et en même temps, le gouvernement a gagné 4 claims à l'époque. So, les autos, ils mettent une venue, ils discutent. Et le gouvernement a fait l'offre 600 000 roupies net. So, ne peut pas prendre en considération bonne l'argent qui a payé avant. Et ça l'argent, d'après le dossier, qui a proposé par lui-même, hein, ça c'est 100 000 roupies. Et tu pourrais payer par un premier installment 300 000 roupies. Et son balance dans des equal half-yearly installments avec l'intérêt 8% on the reducing balance. Hein. Exhibit 8. Madame Bae, son même jour, il a accepté sa l'offre. On peut dire le 22 février 1996, son même jour, il a accepté sa l'offre et l'exhibit 9 confirme ça. Ça y est. Il prouve qu'il nous paye déjà 600 000 roupies. Well, c'est le premier installment. Le gouvernement aussi est en vécu nous pratiquons whereabouts Madame Schneemann. Et lui aussi, il peut mettre un claim pour review. C'est Madame qui a un mortgage. Il a un mortgage de 150 000 roupies. Là, il a 200 000 roupies outstanding. Et nous avons dit avec Madame Baen, on va entreprendre pour 6 ans, mais il turn up pour nous, les clés. Mais jusqu'à présent, il ne turn up. Nous ne connaissons pas côté il était.
Was that mortgage paid by the government?
It was never paid because we don't know where she is.
So she had that mortgage over the land for 150,000. You took the land. Nobody paid the bank at the end of the day.
No, we paid the bank.
Oh, you paid the bank.
That was a personal mortgage in her name.
And you paid it.
No, we haven't paid
Oh,
it.
no,
so we told Madame, look, if ever she comes, we've given you 600,000 rupees net. Forget what we gave you before. Forget the Barclays Bank debt that we've paid, the tax debt. Forget the liability to Madame Schneemann. If she turns up, government will assume that responsibility. If she ever turns up, but she hasn't turned up all those years.
confused now.
And we don't
so,
know where she is.
So it's this German foreign lady that has this mortgage?
Yeah.
Okay.
And how was the land sold then?
The land was sold into various plots. I mean, there's a lot of subdivisions there, a lot of land bank.
But if
People
there's
have built.
if there's a mortgage on the land,
No,
how was it
understand
transferred?
under the law, any law, any acquisition law for that matter, anywhere in the world really. If there's a mortgage, at the date of acquisition, this mortgage is erased. It is converted into a right to compensation. It is erased automatically. Now, from government point of view, government considère que, enfim, des son obligation et son commitment en bas Schedule 7 Part 3 envers sa madame. Ça est position gouvernement. Merci.
Monsieur Laplace, excusez-moi l'ignorance pour ça bout. En bas la loi, ça, mortgage erased. Vous pouvez expliquer un peu ce que ça veut dire exactement? Qui ça veut dire ça? Vous dites en bas la loi, ça, mortgage automatiquement.
Même la loi, la loi Lands Acquisition Act, qui après été repealed en 95, nous nommons la loi qui est beaucoup plus démocratique, Acquisition of Land in the Public Interest Act, ok? Et aussi pareil, il y a besoin à cause, ou même aussi, pareil, ou aussi les où ils dispossessed. Ou tiens, la terre, le gouvernement fait compulsory acquisition. Les moments qu'il fait ça, ou il dispossession, ou l'intérêt dans la terre, il gagne converti dans un droit de compensation. Similarly, sa mortgage, il est aussi pareil. Son mortgage, il a arrêté. On date date, sa mortgage qui tient en il fait un claim, il gagne converti dans un droit de compensation.
Un droit de compensation equal to claim.
Oui, oui.
Okay.
Il a besoin de claim.
Ok.
Il a besoin de claim. Si tu as un dimoun, tu as un liste aussi, il y a un droit. Si un dimoun, tu as la jouissance, il y a aussi un droit.
Ok, merci.
I mean, I guess in her case, her land was taken. She was a widow. Her husband had died. And then her land was taken. She was originally given 9,000 rupees. That's what she ended up with. It looks like she negotiated this herself. And I think one of the claims made that she was not negotiating with the government as an equal, right? She didn't have money to get legal representation. Having been given 9,000 rupees, 600,000 probably seemed, reasonable, right, to her, right, in her situation.
Well, it was.
It was.
We're
You
talking
think
of
it was a good price?
1996.
You think it was a good price? How much money has? I guess she looks now at her land and sees how much money has been made out of it, and all these people benefiting from it, and it's been cut into 23 plots. When she had it, she was happily doing some things. She was doing some agricultural things, right? Collecting vanilla, raising pigs. She was doing some agricultural things. So the purpose from which it was taken originally was first farming, then housing. And what about her allegation that it's been given to privileged persons under the some sort of patronage given to these persons that have...
These two persons have a lease on those two plots for a development project, which unfortunately has not been implemented yet, but that's government's right to look into it and see that this is done, or they give back the land, or they surrender the land back.
Can I ask, in the land bank, if I take a piece of land from the land bank, I have to develop it within a period of time, build my house on it within a period of time, or I have to give it back?
No,
No.
it's not the case, no.
Okay.
No. You have to... The first land banks, when they were sold, the first plots in the early 90s, there was a restriction of 5 years where government reserved the right of purchase, the first option to purchase back the property. But after you've passed the 5 years, you can do what you want with it. The second one was a 7-year period. We increased that to 7 years because government found that some people were waiting for 5 years and then trying to flog their plots. And then the third one in the late 2000, we increased it to 15 years.
I mean, you know, legally speaking, there's nothing really wrong with buying a prime piece of property, waiting for it, you know, waiting for time to pass and it to increase in value and selling it.
But I would say that on the whole, I would say that most of the land bank plots have been developed by people. They needed to build a house and they built it. Most of the plots.
Well, I think, you know, when she looks at her land and how it's being used and other people profiting from it, that's how it looks to her. She doesn't feel like she got much at the end of the day, that she wasn't negotiating from an equal position with the government. She was a widowed lady whose property had been compulsorily acquired many years for. So, I mean, I think we have to, I understand that you're saying the government's position is that you have discharged your obligations to her. We will take that into account, obviously.
Do you have any idea how many plots were sold altogether?
Over the years, I'm not sure. I think we can find out on the cadastre. We will see it.
And
Maybe more than 20, probably.
20, I think she said around 23
Yeah,
plots.
it could be.
and what was the average price?
I'm not sure. Maybe 30,000, 40,000, no more than that.
And what about parcels 5446 and 5443? Do you have any idea of the size of those parcels?
They're bigger than the plot because they were earmarked for some development. I think for tourism development. But
they've been listed to...
They've been listed. They haven't been sold. They've been listed.
So government is still the owner. And under Schedule 7, it should be returned because nothing's been done on them.
Well, there is a lease.
But that's not development.
It's a question of a legal opinion on that, I think, because the case has been settled. It has been, if it hadn't been settled.
Settled but not satisfactorily from the point of view. I'm sure the plots sold altogether would have come to more than 600,000.
Don't forget, government had to put some infrastructure, road, water, electricity.
Exactement, Mr. Dan.
Et avant arrive de contour Côte d'Or là, avant pas contour, un petit peu avant.
Côte croisée, c'est maintenant la blague, là.
Avant.
Je sais pas avant, là. Ben, les propriétés Cummings.
Le côté la mer.
Non,
L'autre côté.
côté en dedans.
Thank you, Mr. Leblash. I think we can move to the last one, which is case 161 Madhav Rajarman. I think I got that wrong, but I try. Which concerns an allegation of the forced sale of property, C762, to Albert Rene on 10th of January 1979. It is alleged that the late Mr. Rajaram Naidu was forced to sell the land, which comprised 86.545 acres of prime agricultural land situated at Bay Lazer for a nominal sum of 205,190 rupees upon the threat of acquisition, arrest, and deportation. The complaint claims that more than 2/3 of the land remains undeveloped, and the complainant seeks its return along with compensation with respect to the remaining third at today's land value.
Ça, merci Madame Chair. Ça monsieur là, ça monsieur le complainant, son garçon, ça monsieur, son enfant, son garçon. Ok, mon tiens content dit qui moi personnellement, mon catégoriquement refute sa allégation qui ça monsieur ne fait parce que intéressant.
It's not recorded on the file. Is that the allegation about the threats, the deport? You're saying you can't confirm that?
No.
Yes.
I'm saying that it is not correct. It is not true. It cannot be true. I will explain why it cannot be true. From record qui en a un vieux dossier gouvernement. Ok, sa propriété. J'en mets en et il faut celle de M. René, M. Albert René, le 10 janvier 1979. Pareil, il dit ici, j'en mets en ça. Sa propriété, tu gagnes offert avec le gouvernement anglais. The colonial days. OK? Ça, M. Naidu, qui m'a supposé papa, ça, M. Ragaran Naidu, il a offert ça à la terre, gouvernement anglais, en 1972 pour 300 000 roupies. OK? Et à l'époque, tu n'as pas aucun de ces lois qui travaillent de bureau là. Tu es tout bon anglais. OK? Alors, je t'exhibite, on va voir. Oui. Les éthiopiens, gouvernement anglais. Et il continue écrit gouvernement anglais. Acheter sur la terre, acheter sur la terre, acheter sur la terre. Le gouvernement, il dit, le 30 novembre 1972, il dit le gouvernement n'a pas l'argent pour acheter sur la terre, pour les moments. Donc, en 72. En 75, 1975, un monsieur Bouchereau de Glacis, sorti Glacis, par contre ça monsieur, qui typait acte pour monsieur Naidu, il réappose le gouvernement encore pour le gouvernement assister à la terre. Exhibit 3. Ça monsieur Lens Officer à l'époque, moi crois, c'est monsieur Greenwood, en anglais. Il dit the land can be used for agriculture, it would be expensive to put into production, although it can be used. Il dit que funds posted à la terre could be better spent elsewhere. But if we were to consider this property, I'm inclined to think we should not pay more than 1,000 to 1,250 per acre. Exhibit 3. Donc, en 1975, là, les 20 octobre 1975, M. René lui-même, M. René était ministre, un ministère qui s'appelle Works and Lands. À l'époque, il prend sa décision, il dit avec son officier emballé, not to pursue anymore with the purchase of this property. Pour une raison qui, on peut expliquer ça là, dans Exhibit 789, c'est à voir d'autres même, 789. Voilà, bon, ça y bon minutes, low file, at the time, 75, M. René dit, for the reasons stated in 789, I do not think we should pursue this matter any further. M. René qui dit ça, hein. Vous êtes une voix pour dire, le gouvernement, il n'y en a plus, les autres priorités, plus à faire passer à la terre. En 1978, M. Naidu, il écrit encore, il écrit au gouvernement, il dit, il est content, il peut vous faire pour vendre encore, il dit, mais il est content, garde 4 apens from the property and sell the remainder to Jews for 200 000 roupies. So, nous sortis 300 000 en 72, nous arrivons 200 000 en 78. et il les garde 4 ans après. Le gouvernement il dit, non, souvent, nous pour les 100 000, n'a pas acheté. À l'époque, moi, quoi, monsieur Serge savait à l'époque, TPS, l'agriculture, il mettait une recommandation le dossier, il dit, peut-être ça, la terre, c'est capable, tu as servi pour bloquer, tu as peut-être extendre bloquer Val d'Or, parce qu'il balise avec un bloqué là-bas. Et le gouvernement, vraiment, il prend les temps, il prend les temps, pas le rôle de ça des 100 000 roupies. Mon guettier là, mon guettier dans file, même gouvernement, il dit que l'IB a fait servir à la terre ou même. Nous n'avons payé la moitié. Nous sommes d'accord pour payer la moitié. À cause servir, qui coûte 10 000 roupies, un surveilleur privé qui a le fait, le gouvernement, il cherche 5, il arrive des 105. Le gouvernement finalise sa purchase le 10 janvier 79 for the sum of 205 190 pareil commission qu'on est l'exhibit 10 et 11 de savoir là et comme on tient content peut-être faire sortir un petit point là qui il veut ça la vente il dit qu'il peut transférer Monsieur François Albert René, President and Commander Chief, Président Payact, Lobby of Republic, l'État, il a accepté. Puis l'État, sa bonne fonction, il a délégué tout. Avant, l'été commencé, l'époque coloniale. Gouverneur qui signe aucun la vente qui a acheté, qui peut acheter la terre, qui dit monde privé. C'est pas simple, c'est le gouverneur qui signe. Et attorney général, procureur général, il signe en bas comme un notaire. Après, il continue. Nous avons l'indépendance. Le président, il signe. Mais après, il changé, demande l'année à venir, il changé. Il y a beaucoup de travail pour le président pour lui faire ça. So, il délègue ça au ministre ou son PS. So, il se fait sortir ça. So, en gros, oui, le gouvernement a acheté ça la terre. Je ne pas comprendre que ça, M. Vindi, vous dit, mon va tu comment ça travaille le gouvernement.
I mean, it might be a family myth, you know, how we used to have this property and how did we lose our property, and property was being acquired, and then they go maybe to the Lands Registration Act and see that it's been transferred to Albert Rene, so they draw inferences from that, right? So that's what it could be. But from what you've shown us, there's a long history of trying to get the government to take this land for a price that he was proposing to the government.
And this was the price at the time.
Blas, explique-moi un peu, qu'on puisse comprendre ce document, transfer of land. Hein? Moi, une date, ils mettent 10 janvier 79, je crois, il m'a écrit un peu. Et puis, stamp duty 72. On peut essayer de comprendre un peu le contexte. Un document qui m'appelle ça, refaire tout comme si.
Bon, pas tout comprendre. Si vous voulez voir ça
document, oui, essayez de monter ça.
Explique. Ou parce que le stamp duty son date?
Oui, oui. La signature en l'air 79, c'est en duty 72.
Yeah. C'est la loi.
Oui.
Stamp Duty Act.
Act.
La loi Stamp Duty 1972.
OK. Maintenant, ça gagne 79. Allez.
Oui.
Okay.
Oui. Ça, il peut payer son taxe.
OK.
C'est à l'époque, quoi. One half of the stamp duty. C'est à l'époque de t-shirt, half. À l'époque.
Le t-shirt.
Half. It was probably, je ne me rappelle à l'époque, peut-être 2%, je ne me rappelle. Il n'y a pas de grandes affaires parce que tu payes 500 roupies. Pas de grandes affaires. Le gouvernement doit payer 500. So, le 200 000 roupies, pas de grandes affaires. Yeah. 1%. Yeah.
Ok. Non, comment c'est un peu intéressant, je dis président de la République, commandant-in-chief, tout ça, un petit papier, la terre, les mettre un titre, commandant-in-chief, tout ça, là.
Ah, mais ça, tu... Non, mais les gouverneurs, tu as cité, ils mettent gouverneur. Lui qui en ça, lui qui en sa power, ça invested in him.
And he was allowed to retain the 4 acres that he wanted?
No,
No, he wasn't.
He was told, well, if you want to sell for 200,000, we'll take it. Okay, we're happy to pay half of the survey cost. Government will buy it. And government basically took that land and leased it to a third party. He easily didn't even develop it because it was too expensive to develop it.
So, I mean, the complainant told us that it was prime agricultural land and that it was doing well financially, producing large amounts of coconut, cinnamon, fresh fruit and vegetables, and that they believed their father died a year later as a direct result of the forceful transfer of the land. But the son was only 12 years old at the time.
So why did he sell it? I mean, if he was producing, he was doing so well in agriculture, why he...
When they went to look at the land on 28th of September 1972, it says it is very rough and mostly covered in scrub. Access is by footpath only, but it does have a good water supply. This is the beauty of records, right? Files. Although some things remain unexplained, right? How this, but some things are explained.
Une question, Monsieur Lablache. L'étant sa propriété, il y a un van, le nom président de la République, commandant en chef l'armée, etc. Est-ce qu'il y a une pratique qui est courante, qui sa propriété-là, il vient le nom personnel président?
Pas du tout. Il y a le casier Republic of Seychelles.
Republic of Seychelles. Le temps où il dit plus tard que sa situation, le président n'est plus capable de dire, il vient de déléguer par le ministre. Est-ce qu'il a le nom du ministre ou bien il a le nom République?
Non, sa ministre ou soit sa pièce. Normalement, il y a une pièce comme là qui signe la vente. Moi, on tient quantité qui peut act on behalf of l'État pour authentiquer sa selle, pour give it the...
Moi, j'ai l'impression que ça va du monde. L'étant le papier écrit président de la République de penser que c'est le nom personnel.
Il y en a plusieurs comme ça, dans mon early days, c'était comme ça parce que nous pas encore bien développé, c'est nous pas encore le gouvernement, pas encore very lean, tu n'as pas quand tu es on a dans un ministère, mais on connaît, nous peut cause 40 ans passés. So, président avec attorney général.
Oui, mon cas, comme 78, 79, c'est la terre, le gouvernement, it was
Ils venaient pour vendre les qui signaient tout. Parce que là, ils venaient quand ils travaillent pour lui. Vous voyez ça.
Il y a beaucoup.
Mais le gouverneur, il fait, I mean, the governor, but again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Blash. You were very helpful, as usual. We're very grateful to you. You make our work a lot easier than it would otherwise be. So thank you very much for presenting on those 3 cases today. I think, we're going to see you. Are we going to see you again next week?
Yes,
we're
next
going
week. Next week.
Yeah, we're going to see you next week. No, this is last week's schedule. No, are we seeing? I don't think we are. That's last
My secretary did tell me that there's
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
on Monday.
Next
Monday.
week, yes.
Yeah, 6th
Next
of
week,
July. So
Yes,
I
next week, I saw
cannot
this morning,
find
so-
my own script.
Yeah.
Unless she put in here.
Anyway, merci, moi, la documentation est fantastique. Hein?
Pareil, me dit, si
Yeah, very good,
une
eh?
question peut-être qui,
Yeah.
on est, je demande moi pour venir, mais mon pensée n'est pas des officiers d'un ministère.
Oui.
Ils peuvent venir dire autres ça bonnes affaires. Bon, parce que ça record il là.
Oui, mais c'est un officier qui est expérimenté, qui a...
Demandez à l'autre du monde, ils peuvent venir aussi.
Oui, on a ça l'expertise. Et pas juste causer le dossier, mais causer avec understanding, avec expérience et expertise.
And the,
Merci.
We should have.
institutional memory
Yeah.
is important.
Exact. Ou tout ça, le cas où là, où on comprend qu'il y a un petit morceau qui passe, on connaît bien. Merci.
So we all appreciate you very much, I think, as we've
Thank
made
you.
clear. So thank you. We will adjourn now and we will come back at 11 o'clock. Thank you.
All rise.